What are your qualifications?
I've got a B Proc.
And you've been practicing as an attorney?
Since I was admitted in 1993, I've been practicing as an attorney.
Did you appear or did you spend most of your time in the office?
No, CJ, even when I started serving articles, I was fortunate to be in a firm that exposed me to court work on a daily basis. When I started practicing for my own account, immediately after being admitted in 1993, I did court work on a daily basis as well. When I got my right of appearance in 1997, as from that time on, up until now, have been appearing in the magistrates' courts, the High Court, and in particular the High Court, on an almost daily basis.
And in what kind of matters did you appear in the High Court?
There was a time when I did, especially in the beginning of my career, when I did a lot of criminal work, criminal defense work, and I appeared on behalf of people, accused persons, up until a point in criminal matters. Then for the better part of my career, I appeared for and on behalf of the Road Accident Fund in the defense of their matters.
Yes. And obviously you've acted as a judge.
Yes, I've been fortunate that JP had invited me, and since 2013 I've been acting, and cumulatively I've now acted just over a year, approximately. Well, if I count in last week when I did service in the urgent court in Johannesburg, it's cumulatively about 55 weeks.
JP?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good evening, Mr. Swartz.
Good evening, JP.
Mr. Swartz, you've added 6 weeks to the spreadsheet that I have in front of you, but that explains that I prepared it at some point in time.
Yes.
I don't dispute what you're saying.
Yes.
You were in the Asian court last week, and it's because all the judges of the division had gone on a diversity workshop.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Now, I see you've done 8 weeks in the unopposed court.
Yes.
As well as, I think it's 4 weeks opposed motion. The agent court, that means you've done 3 weeks in the agent court.
I've done 3 weeks in the, actually 4 weeks, if I count last week's, because I did 2 weeks in Johannesburg, 1 week in Pretoria during the recess, and then again last week in Johannesburg.
Right. You've acted quite a substantial amount of time.
Yes, I did, JP.
Your practice in the last 10 years is predominantly third-party
That's right.
litigation.
Yes.
Third-party work is the one that's clogging our roles.
Yes.
Any pointers as to how we can deal with this?
Yes,
You deal with this work.
Yes, JP. I think that the problem really is, speaking from my personal experience, that it was a lack of getting instructions, or getting a lack of getting proper instructions from the client well in advance in an attempt to settle this matter. Because my experience is if recommendations that had been made were followed up on, and instructions were given to attorneys to settle these matters could settle well in advance without people having to come and settle these matters on the doorsteps of the court.
Yeah. So your experience would become very helpful in the judicial case management part of things, especially with dealing with that kind of work.
Oh, yes, indeed, JP. I've also, in particular in Pretoria, I've also been assisting them with the assisting the DJP in lighting up the role,
Yeah.
And getting rid of these matters, because many of these matters do not deserve to be in court. And as I say, they could have been disposed of well in advance of before it got to court.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Swartz, without wasting your time, you've given us a list of the judgments you've written.
Yes.
The total is how much? Can you remember how many you wrote?
Somewhere in the order of about 70 judgments.
About 70?
Yes.
Yes. I've only come across one where it took you 3 months, or just under 3 months to write.
Yes.
All the others were less than that.
That's right.
How did you get it right?
That's one, JP, it's one of those matters where whoever's going to lose the case is going to take you on appeal. It was one of those matters, and because it was not my particular area of expertise, I had to ensure that I digested the facts and digested the matter thoroughly. Counsel that appeared before me invited me to advance the law, enter into the area of new law. I reserved that judgment and read up on the law thoroughly. And lo and behold, the party that did lose did take me on appeal. The matter went to the SCA. The SCA judgment was delivered, and it's a reported judgment in the August 2016 law reports, where the SCA found, in essence, that I was correct, and the appeal was dismissed. And that's the reason, that's the judgment that took so long.
I see. So there was a reason why it took you more than the norm.
Yes, that's right.
In terms of what you do. And I see you've written judgments in a varied field.
Yes.
You've also written a judgment in intellectual property. That's a very specialized area.
Yes, it is, JP. And again, it's one of those matters where I find it very helpful that one is given the files well in advance. The benefit of that, JP, is that you are able to digest the matters and the issues at large. So much so that at the time when you get into court, you well aware of the issues, and I find that it's helpful. At times you may find that you even know the file better than counsel himself.
Yes, and it's a very good thing to do, to be well prepared.
Yes.
But let's just deal with one societal issue, Mr. Swartz. And I just need your insights in this. You know, in the morning we dealt with the reason why when you go to the roll call court, you see black faces.
Yes.
And the things that go to that court always settle.
Yes.
And some of them should have settled long before they come there. But
yes.
People come there so that they can get the first day fee.
Yes.
But it's black faces you see there.
Yes.
When you sit in the unopposed court, you see white faces.
Yes.
Because that's bank work.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
How do we deal with this? I mean, are we blacks good enough to only go and present settlement orders? Are we not good enough to deal with the involved areas of work?
See, JP, that was exactly my experience. And in this period that I've been acting,
Yeah.
In the motion court, especially the unopposed motion court, where it's predominantly foreclosures by the banks. My experience is that all the counsel that appears there are white people, and as you rightly point out, that and this again coming from my own experience as a practitioner and having been in particular in the South Gauteng High Court on a daily basis for so many years, that court is clogged with black counsel and attorneys, and predominantly 99% of the work is road accident fund matters. And again, the only reason why they come to court to come and settle these matters at court is because they do not get instructions well in advance of being able to settle these matters, and that creates all sorts of problems. And that's what I personally think is one of the reasons why there's such a lot of hassles and so much of legal costs, wasted costs, because of practitioners not getting instructions timelessly.
Yeah. And the acting stints you've done and the long duration years you've spent in practice
Yes.
have equipped you to
I'm ready
to be appointed. You're ready?
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
I want to thank you because sometimes I get stuck. I need a judge, an acting judge urgently.
Yes.
And you're always there to come and help.
Well,
Thank you very much.
It's always been a pleasure and an honor to assist you, JP. And in particular because I found that despite the fact that I've been an attorney for so long, when I started acting And when I was called repetitively to act, it felt for the first time that I'm actually doing something worthwhile, for not personal benefit, but the benefit of the society at large. For that, that's why I was grateful for you calling me and me being able to assist.
Thank you, Mr. Swartz.